My next Patreon question is from Joey, who wants to know my thoughts on the ever-evolving nature of an iconic cartoon character. There's been a big debate among animation fans of which take on Daffy Duck is better. They either choose the wacky Daffy or the greedy Daffy, but I honestly think that people tend to go too far in their arguments of which Daffy is superior. As for myself, I adore Daffy Duck either way. Almost all of Daffy's appearances by Bob Clampett, Friz Freleng, and Chuck Jones are wonderful, and the other directors had great use for him as well. Do you think the arguments for which Daffy is better are ridiculous? I honestly think Daffy Duck might be the greatest cartoon character ever created, and a major reason is because of how he has evolved as different directors and writers have put their stamp on him. And as with any character who's been interpreted by various artists in different ways, people's preferences will go with one take over the others. I think there's definitely a place for the wacky Daffy from his early appearances, especially when he messed with Porky Pig. There was something rather unexpected about this duck who had no limitations and would bounce across the screen like he was hopped up on caffeine. He definitely made for a worthy foil against Porky. That Daffy has come back on occasion, especially in the last few years. There was a hilarious Wabbit short with Porky trying to deliver an unhinged Daffy in a box. They also appear to be using this Daffy in the new Looney Tunes cartoon streaming on HBO Max. So there will always be a place for wacky Daffy. However, I don't know if the character would have endured if this was the only version of Daffy who existed. That's why the later bitter Daffy is so important. His rivalry with Bugs Bunny led to so many classic moments, including the Hunting trilogy. And then there is, of course, Duck Amuck. This might be my favorite animated short of all time, as it so brilliantly shows the chameleon nature of cartoon characters. We see Daffy trying desperately to deal with the animator constantly messing with him, and we see him either improvise or ultimately lose his patience. Even though we're laughing at him, there's still an element of sympathy there. But there's also a lot of fun to be had with Daffy's frequent jealousy of Bugs and his success. Some of his most memorable cartoons have him always trying to beat Bugs at his own game, and the trouble that ensues because of this. The Hunting trilogy, as I mentioned before, is a great example. Their back and forths are so brilliantly written and animated, not to mention Mel Blanc's excellent voice work. Although it's not only Bugs he tries to show off in front of. Robin Hood Daffy has him play the role of the famous legend, desperately attempting to prove to Porky Pig, aka Friar Tuck, that he is the outlaw of Sherwood Forest. Daffy comes across as pathetic in that short, but also delivers some great one-liners and reactions to Porky. The Duck Dodgers cartoons and television series are also great in how they put him in the role of an overconfident space hero. He shows off his ego at multiple points, and his confrontations with Marvin the Martian are hilarious. I've also liked those times when the artists explore Daffy's jealousy of Bugs and the constant want to have the same admiration. Looney Tunes Back in Action did a particularly good job of this, in how upset he gets at Bugs receiving most of the attention. Voice actor Joel Esky nicely tapped into Daffy's insecurities, and there are those times when he even saves the day, albeit unintentionally. At other times, the filmmakers do include scenes of Daffy being wacky, like when Brendan Fraser chases him around the Warner Brothers studio lot at the beginning of the movie. To conclude, I have to say I love how Daffy has evolved since his creation. I do admit to having a preference for the jealous Daffy, but the wacky Daffy has definitely provided his hilarious moments. That's the beauty of the character. You can take him in so many inspired directions. Whether he's a duck who's shouting woohoo at every turn and jumping over the screen, failing miserably at proving his wits, or just a sad, pathetic figure who is trying to get through the day. Let me know in the comments who your favorite version of Daffy Duck is, and thank you for your question, Joey.